Hey everyone. So I got some requests to do a commentary version of the Algalon 10 Prot Warrior Solo Tank video. So that's what we're going to be going over today. Let's hop into it. So at the beginning here, just pre-potting, starting with Shield Slam, get some initial threat, throwing out Commanding Shout, popping Retail. A little too scared to use Recklessness here. Getting Demo Shout up immediately, definitely want that up ASAP. And running Shield Block immediately too, get that cooldown going fast. Want to basically be using that every time you can. And when you are solo tanking this as a prot where you really want to like space out your cooldowns. Normally when you tank this on warrior, you're running a cooldown at basically all times, but you aren't able to do that when you're solo tanking it, obviously. So you want to spread them out a bit. I should use the shield wall before I use my trinkets, but I didn't do that. Should have changed the order up a little bit there, get the shield wall cooldown rolling quicker. But now we're already on our second shield buck, so it's an awesome cooldown, and you really want to just basically be popping that anytime it's up and you don't have another cooldown already rolling, just to keep getting that cooldown going. And with the last stand, I'm comboing the enraged regen. Since you have more HP during last stand, you get a bigger heal with enraged regen. Good time to use it. You could space that out though too with the solo tank. That wouldn't be the worst idea, just to give you a little something extra for other moments. And let me just rewind here. So when you're solo tanking this, you need some of the phase punches to be dealt with so that you don't get sent into the Shadow Realm. And this first one, I'm at 4 stacks right now. So this first one, I'm going to target dummy. And you can target dummy phase punches reliably just by watching the DBM timer and aiming to drop your dummy at about 0.5 seconds before the timer is expiring. So that's what I always aim for, and it always works. It kind of feels like it shouldn't always work, but for some reason it always works. So you can see here, we're at about to get our 5th phase punch, and I drop the dummy. Dummy takes the phase punch. But we're going to need another one to be dealt with. So here we have our Big Bang. And when you go into a black hole, your threat gets wiped on Algalon. But since our Shadow Priest is not going in a black hole, he's soaking the Big Bang, his threat is not wiped. So here, he has lots of threat. Nobody else has any threat. And he saved his dispersion a little bit later than he might normally. He popped out like the last second of Big Bang, so that it will be up still to take a phase punch here. This strat will not work if you're having stars die during Big Bang, because the priest is going to need to disperse a little bit earlier for that. But if you're not killing any stars during Big Bang, then just have the Shadow Priest delay their dispersion like as long as they can. Just pop it right before the Big Bang's actually going to finish casting. And so he's up here by Algalon, ready to take the phase punch. And I'm just watching for as soon as he takes that phase punch, I need to taunt. So it's got to be very quick to make sure he doesn't die. So Algalon pauses for a sec. He does the phase punch, I taunt. Really important that that happens immediately before his dispersion wears off, because as you see, Algalon does pause for a little bit, and that is just eating dispersion time there. So now we're at like a really scary part of the fight right now, because I have like no cooldowns left. I just got shield block back, so we pop that immediately. And now we're actually in a pretty good spot since we got back to that shield block, because we shield block, which gets us back to our 2 trinkets. These are very RNG, obviously. This isn't necessarily going to save you, but it will increase your chances of not dying for sure. So the trinkets get us back to our shield wall. And I'm trying to hold off on that for a little bit. I still have my trinkets running. And here, I was dipping a little bit there, and trinkets were expiring, so I just popped the wall. make sure I get us to the phase transition, and that shield wall gets us back to shield block. So you really won't be thinking about your cooldown usage like that. Like using, the shield block gets you back to the trinkets get you back to the wall gets you back to the shield block, and just trying to have as many cooldowns as you can. You want to like space them out a little bit, but also not sit on them too long. And here, let me just rewind that really quick. So here, coming out of this, I was like hyper focused on getting this taunt. This is a perfect opportunity right here to drop a shockwave on all these Unleashed Dark Matter, and possibly even a challenging shout out of the shockwave if they haven't died by then. But again, I was just like hyper focused on making sure I got this taunt and wasn't even thinking about that. So for sure, when you have everything grouped here, drop the shockwave, obviously. And again, we're doing the Shadow Priest phase punch soak. So here, as soon as he takes that, I taunt immediately. And yeah, those ads just melted, so they would just died in a shockwave. And here, it would have been good if I actually had Vigilance on our Holy Pally, so that when he got attacked, I could just like taunt off of him. But he bubbled, which is great, and then the fight's over there. If you don't kill him that quickly, we were pretty close to needing another phase punch dealt with for me. And our plan, we were just going to have our Feral Druid take it. I can't remember what we had actually planned. Either he was going to get bopped, probably get bopped and then taunt, or he was just going to use all his cooldowns. And at that point, he hasn't used a single one, so he's got both of them. But the bop's a little bit safer. And another thing, when you are using like the target dummy too, let me just rewind here. You do want to make sure that you're not too far away. I'm actually kind of in a bad spot here. When you drop the target dummy, if you're as far back as I am here, I should ideally be a little bit closer. If you're this far back, I've actually had situations where some of the melee have gotten quantum striked. But after I made that adjustment where I make sure I'm a little bit closer, I haven't seen that happen since then. But here, they would have been at risk. So if I had moved up like just really about a yard and a half further up when I'm going to do that dummy drop, then that just ensures that the melee are safe from potentially taking a quantum strike like when you drop the dummy. So just something to be aware of. But yeah, that's the whole fight. If you like what I do and want to support me, just like, comment, and subscribe. And check me out on Twitch too. I'm also SubtleFW on Twitch. And that's everything. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.